everyone, I'm here with a Bible reading. I hope you guys are having a good day. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Hope you guys are getting to get out there and see family and see their loved ones and friends who have passed away. If you take flowers to their graves. I have stuff from my brother's grave and something from my stepmom's grave. But we can't get there till at least a couple days from now. And be careful if you're traveling out there because there's a lot of people on the roads. And you know it's double fine for holidays if you get pulled over too. You get a ticket, right?
Yep.
Okay, you gonna follow along? Get your Bible. Today we are going to be reading John chapter 18 verse 25 through chapter 19 verse 22. You said. And Psalm 119 verses 113 through 128. I told you guys would be on Psalm 119 for a few days. Proverbs chapter 16 verses 10 and 11. Okay, we get down to John. We'll be talking about Peter's second and third denial, and Jesus before Pilate, Jesus sentenced to be crucified, and the crucifixion of Jesus. So we got a lot to read today, so let's go ahead and get started. Just to recap real fast, Jesus has already been arrested. And remember, before Jesus was arrested or anything, he told Peter said, I'll go down to death with you if I have to. And Jesus said, will you really, Peter? For today, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. And Peter's like, no, And yesterday he already denied him once, so let's see how we're going today. Meanwhile, Simon Peter was still standing there warming himself. So they asked him, you aren't one of his disciples too, are you? He denied it, saying, I am not. Twice. One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him. Didn't I see you with him in the garden? Again, Peter denied it, and at that moment, a rooster began to crow. And then can you picture Jesus turning back and looking straight at Peter when that happened? And that rooster crowed. Peter knew what he had done, and he went and wept bitterly. Like I said before, don't say you'd do it any different because you don't know. Unless you're in that situation, just like Peter said he wouldn't. He had the heart and thought for sure. He knew he would not deny Jesus. But then when you're in that moment and you're scared and threatened with your life and stuff, that he denied him, but he knew he had done wrong. But Jesus didn't stop loving him any less. For he already knew what Peter was going to do before he did it. Then the Jewish leaders took Jesus from Caiaphas, who was the high priest that year, to the place of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanliness, they did not enter the palace because they wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, what charges are you bringing against this man? If he were not a criminal, they replied, we would not have handed him over to you. Pilate said, take him yourselves and judge him by your own law. But we have no right to execute anyone, they objected. This took place to fulfill what Jesus had said about the kind of death he was going to die. Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus and asked him, are you the king of the Jews? Is that your own idea? Jesus asked, or did others talk to you about me? Am I a Jew? Pilate replied. Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it you have done? Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place. Talking about heaven, of course. Are you a king then? said Pilate. Jesus answered, you say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me. What is the truth? Retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, I find no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the King of the Jews? They shouted back, no, not him. Give us Barabbas. Now Barabbas had taken part in an uprising. He was also a murderer. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. They clothed him in a purple robe and went up to him again and again, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they slapped him in the face. Once more Pilate came out and said to the Jews gathered there, Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no basis for a charge against him. When Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, Pilate said to them, Here is the man. As soon as the chief priests and their officials saw him, they shouted, Crucify! Crucify! But Pilate answered, You take him and crucify him. As for me, I find no basis for a charge against him. The Jewish leaders insisted, We have a law, and according to that law, he must die, because he claimed to be the Son of God. Then when Pilate heard this, he was even more afraid. And he went back inside the palace. Where do you come from? He asked Jesus. But Jesus gave him no answer. Do you refuse to speak to me? Pilate said. Don't you realize I have power either to free you or to crucify you? Jesus answered, You would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin. From then on, Pilate tried to set Jesus free, but the Jewish leaders kept shouting, If you let this man go, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who claims to be a king opposes Caesar. So why didn't they take him to Caesar, right? When Pilate heard this, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judge's seat at the place known as the stone pavement, which in Aramaic is Gabbatha. It was the day of preparation of the Passover. It was about noon. Here is your king, Pilate said to the Jews. But they shouted, Take him away! Take him away! Crucify him! Shall I crucify your king? Pilate asked. We have no king but Caesar, the chief priests answered. Finally, Pilate handed him over to be crucified. Now see, this book doesn't go into a greater detail on some things as others, because Pilate's wife came to him and told him not to have anything to do with Jesus because she suffered much in a dream because of him. And Pilate, he was kind of afraid. He's like, is this really the Son of God? What's going on here? I don't want nothing to do with this. But they kept shouting and shouting all the more. And then Pilate said, I wash my hands of this. His blood is on your hands. And they said, let his blood be on us and our children. Yeah, even on their children. They cursed their own children just to get Jesus killed. Okay? So now we're at the crucifixion. So the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on each side, and Jesus in the middle. Pilate had a notice prepared and fastened to the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many of the Jews read this sign from the place where Jesus was crucified, because he was near the city. And the sign was written in Aramaic, Latin, and Greek. The chief priests of the Jews protested to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but that this man claimed to be King of the Jews." Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written." And he didn't change it. Now this also doesn't say that Jesus tried to carry his own cross, but by then, because all the beatings and everything, look at the psalm, here's the psalm, he was very, very bloody and he was very, very weak. So they had a guy in the crowd named Simon come and carry Jesus' cross for him. Simon of Cyrene, wasn't it? Okay, so, but that is where we're stopping with John today. Now let's continue on with Psalm 119. Got it? Let me know when you got it, babe. Shamka.
Yes,
So we'll be reading first Shamka. Ready? It's 113. We're starting. You got it?
Yeah.
Shamka says, "I hate double-minded people, but I love your law. You are my refuge and my shield. I have put my hope in your word. Away from me, you evildoers, that I may keep the commands of my God. Sustain me, my God, according to your promise, and I will live. Do not let my hopes be dashed. Uphold me, and I will be delivered. I will always have regard for your decrees. You reject all who stray from your decrees, for their delusions come to nothing. All the wicked of the earth you discard like dross. Therefore I love your statutes. My flesh trembles in fear of you. I stand in awe of your laws." And Ayan says, "I have done what is righteous and just. Do not lead me to my oppressors. Ensure your servant's well-being. Do not let the arrogant oppress me. My eyes fell looking for your salvation, looking for your righteous promise. Deal with your servant according to your love, and teach me your decrees. I am your servant. Give me discernment, that I may understand your statutes. It is time for you to act, Lord. Your law is being broken. Because I love your commands more than gold, more than pure gold, and because I consider all your precepts right, I hate every wrong path." And that is where we're stopping with Psalm 119 today. You see how much that goes on still? How much? Till we get to 120.
Goes to 176.
All right, we still got a little ways to go to finish up Psalm 119. We ended with verse 128, and Sherm said the Psalm 119 ends at 178. Depending on how many they let us read at a time. You know, we still got a few days to go. Okay, so Proverbs chapter 16, verses 10 and 11. Father? "The lips of a king speak as an oracle, and his mouth does not betray justice. Honest scales and balances belong to the Lord. All the weights in the bag are of his making. Amen. You get your own books and stuff. That was our Bible reading, guys. I hope it touched your heart. Again, happy Memorial Day. I'm getting ready to get the prayer list. Sorry about that. Have not heard any updates on Jeremy or our cousin Dean. I really don't have any updates at all. So I'll just go through the list of names again. I'm sorry, but I ask every day, but we had to wait for one of his relatives to post it to know how he's doing and everything. Okay, so please keep Jeremy Hughes in your prayers and ask prayers for him. Please keep my mom, Rhonda Karshner, in your prayers. Something else was happening to her yesterday. What's wrong? What's wrong?
Trying to get these out of there.
She was out there mowing, her and my nephew, and I guess her legs started to tingle and started to go numb. So she had to quit, and that's never happened before. I told you she'd had that tick bite too. I keep telling her to go get that checked out, but she won't. I don't know. She thinks it might just be from the radiation. I don't know. Or the pill they're making her take for 5 years. But she needs to get that tick bite thing taken care of, because she wasn't like that until she got that tick bite. She had to dig the head out of her. Okay, please pray for Sherm, Abby and Jimmy Myers. I talked to Abby. She's got COVID and strep throat. But she went back to work yesterday. You know how some jobs are. If you're not there, you're fired, regardless of what's wrong with you, Please pray for Cindy and Jim Welsh, Danette Rager, Leyland, her son Emil, Dean Deddy, Dora Carper, Garnet Boyer, Lori, Elizabeth Jeffries, the Burt family, and the VA in Chillicothe. Please pray that it stays open. Okay, guys, I think I got it all. Like I said, if I get any updates, or when I do, I will update you guys on people as well. So, that's what we have for now. No updates. So, you ready? So, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Be safe out there. Bye, guys. God bless.